Hello and welcome to this look at the Devil May Cry demo. And this is just really a first impressions review of the demo really. There's two parts to this demo. You've got a mission and a boss fight, and there's you can actually unlock the last difficulty through completing the second part of the demo. I think I went with medium difficulty because I haven't played, well, I played all the Devil May Cries, but it's been quite a while since I've played them all. I was playing, well, I did start 4 earlier this year, and just didn't get around to finishing it, but I will get back to it eventually. And there's going to be a quick cutscene now just to sort of summarise what sort of give you an idea what the new game's about. It doesn't give you too much detail, obviously, but it just sort of sets up, really, the game.
This is a message from the Order. Demons, we know your game. Your cameras watch us. Your media brainwash us. Your drinks poison us. And your banking system enslaves us.
My personal view on the terrorists is that they are disgusting, degrading, and generally nauseating. The worst of them is Dante. The whole world would benefit greatly by his non-existence.
Who are you? What do you want?
I'm with an organization called The Order. Heard of it?
Something to do with that masked freak on the net?
That's my boss.
Wonderful. Can't wait.
Dante, it really is you. My name is Virgil. You don't remember me.
You're my brother.
Your twin brother. I've been looking for you for a long time now. 9 millennia ago, one demon rose through the ranks to take power over the Dark Hordes. The strongest, the cruelest. Mundus.
So, Mundus killed our mom and imprisoned our dad.
Yes.
And we're the offspring of angels and demons.
Demon father, angel mother. We are Nephilim. The only ones that can slay the Demon King.
How? It'll kill you.
Don't draw attention.
Ah, come on.
And the first thing you obviously notice is that Dante, we know from the older games, has changed. Seeing as it's a reboot, they decided to reboot him as a character. From what I know, a lot of people are not happy with the decision, which is understandable.
They must have been looking out for you. You'll have to take it out.
I know. Here comes trouble.
Shit. I'm not safe here.
Then go.
But quite frankly, I don't think he's that bad. I mean, personally, I don't think he's that bad a character. I think this one has a tiny bit more attitude than the old one, but it's not really much of a difference, to be honest. So, other than looks, yeah, he's not really that much different from the other Dante, in my opinion. And for those who don't know, or haven't been following the Devil May Cry series, the original Dante had sort of mid-length, well, I say mid-length, white hair with a red jacket. That's really the only difference between. He's got all his cheesy one-liners there, so it's not, as I said, not much difference. And what I'm sort of glad to see is that the combat's how it used to be. They've improved on it quite a bit. There's some new moves, but all the stylish, flashy stuff that it was in the old games is still there. And with a few additions, you've got two new weapons as well. You've got the guns. I think I can't forget. Is it Ebony and Ivory? I think the guns are called. And he's got his sword, and he's also got an axe. And I can't remember the name of the other weapon now. but so you can just mix up gameplay. And I think the axe is more for there's enemies a bit later on with shields.
And rip you apart.
So the axe comes in quite handy with that. Something I quite liked. But yeah, the combat is really spot on like it used to be. So there's no faults with it there. And the only thing I really sort of didn't like too much really was the environments. But then I think the more I sort of played through it, it didn't bother me that much. I think it's just something you've got to get used to. Because if I remember correctly, the old game sort of had a few. Well, they weren't too much environmental changes, but there was the odd thing there. So as I said, though, I don't think it's too bad, really. It's actually quite funny because before this demo, I sort of read a few comments on the internet, and there was a lot of people putting it down. And from playing this, I really don't think it's that bad at all. I think I quite enjoyed a lot of what I played, really.
Someone doesn't want me here?
The city itself is trying to stop you.
Great.
Virgil sent me the camera locations for this area. Best avoid them if we can. Follow me.
That's actually going to be quite interesting to see a bit later. Well, with the full game, if they follow the Devil May Cry 3 storyline.
What the hell?
And from what I can understand, with the reboot, it's set around how Devil May Cry 3 started. If I'm correct, I could be wrong on that. For those who haven't played Devil May Cry 3, it was actually a prequel to the first two games. And that there is also a new feature. You can sort of leap across things now and sort of fall. Well, I can't remember the term it just used, but yeah. And also, like, you can do like what you could do with Devil May Cry 4, where you could grab your enemies and pull them towards you. I mean, you can latch onto them and sort of getting closer to attack them, which is always a nice thing to see. It's nice to have extra options, because I think with some of the older games, I think the first one didn't have a lot really. I mean, it's quite a while since I last played it, so yeah, I don't remember there was a lot you could do. I think as you unlock more weapons and stuff, there was more you could do. I think it's always nice to see extra things added so that you can sort of get that combo, that style meter up. And this is one of the first enemies where we have to use the axe. And there's, well, there we go. There's the axe. Why the hell I was actually trying to shoot him with bullets, I don't know. And you can also launch him up in the air as well, like you could in Devil May Cry 4. And there's a sort of a look at the getting closer thing. There's also some slow motion effects, as you'll see there, and they've added, which makes it look a bit more stylish.
There you are.
Here I am.
This isn't good. It's the walls. Get out of here.
I mean, it's the first look at the environmental changes. They don't sort of rush you. You've got sort of enough time to sort of go at your own pace, which that's something I would have liked to see it more of a sort of fast-paced thing where you have to go for it. But then, yeah, it's always nice for new players, I suppose, who aren't used to it.
Come on!
And there's a look at the other weapon. It's very handy when you launch them up in the air and you can just do it and it'll keep the combo going. It does look really kind of good. I think maybe what people might have not liked about the game is that they're seeing the combat system that's been in the game since I think it's 2001 the first game came out. I'm not entirely sure because here's also the devil trigger. What they've done there is actually sort of changed him to look like the original Dante a little bit there, because he had white hair and the red coat. But the only thing I done it is because I don't think I had it full. It was just showing you how to use it. It didn't seem to last very long. And when I played the demo the first time, the camera angle got in my way as well. But that's, I think, my own fault there, so I can't really criticise that. As I was saying about the combat systems, I mean, while it may look like it's the same thing, it did feel a bit different, to be honest. As I said. That's the thing though. That for me has never got old because, as I said, I didn't get the first game until about 2003, and it was only I think it was just because it was like really cheap at the time. It was on. Oh no, it was on 2 games for a certain amount of. I can't remember now. I think it was about 2 for £15. No, maybe more. I can't quite remember now. But I remember really loving the first game, and that's really what got me into Devil May Cry. Just by playing the first game, because I only heard of it. I didn't really know too much about it, to be honest, when I first got the game. But I've pretty much enjoyed every single one of them, really. This is a new thing, where you get to play with the environment, because you've got a demon, I think it's called Demon Paul and Angel something. That's something that was never really touched on in the original games. I'm not aware that they really went into too much detail about Dante's mother. I think I could be wrong on this because, as I said, I haven't played the games, but I believe they referred to her as a human if they did mention it, but I could be wrong. Because the first game was really about his father, so I couldn't really figure out what that red thing was, so I moved on from it really. When the first time I played it through. And there's also blue ones as well, so I'd imagine as you progress through the game you get to find out what you can do with them. It might be bonus missions like in the older games, as a guess. Another thing I wanted to sort of talk about as well is the guns. Still not as damaging. They're pretty much like they were. It's really the melee weapons that cause the damage. So that you'll see is a bit of a problem for me in the next part of the demo, because I get a little bit carried away with melee attacks. I mean, some may not like the new weapon additions, but I really thought they were really good. I did this really seemed a bit out of place with the chainsaw, but that's probably just me. Maybe they were trying to copy Resident Evil. Well, it's the same people who make Resident Evil, so that's just not copying, but it just, I don't know, it's just an enemy really, it's nothing big. It just, for me, just seemed a bit strange really. Them chainsaw enemies aren't too hard to fight. It's only when they get they glow orange, that's when you've really got to be careful.
And we're good to go.
I think this is this part drawing towards the end now. This bit can be a little bit tricky, but as I said, you've got all the time in the world to sort of get through it, so it's no rush, but it's just annoying the cars keep getting you away. I think maybe what they could have done with that is on the easiest difficulty setting it goes slow. Maybe that is the case. I only played the second difficulty. As I said, due to not playing, well, I haven't played it for a couple of months really. And with all new demos, I tend to do that anyway. But maybe that'll change. On the harder difficulty settings, you might not get so much time.
Dante, it's chaos out here, but I found a way out.
Where?
Up there. I marked it. Dante, run!
I am running.
This bit with the boosting, like the jump boosting thing, it kind of reminded me of this Star Wars Force Unleashed. I think I think it is 1 and 2 actually. That's a new feature as well. You can grapple onto things. Actually, that might have actually been. I think that was in Devil May Cry 4 actually. So that might not be as new, but it's sort of, well, it's just a feature really, I suppose. Then.
That just seemed to drag on forever. Church.
This is the boss fight of the demo now. Now this guy is really quite a lovely creature to look at. And this bit gives you a bit more of an insight to Dante a little bit more. You get to see one of his witty one-liners. Well, I can't remember if it was this time he said it was when I was playing it earlier, but there was quite a funny one-liner he did come up with.
Ugh, smells of sick.
There are quite a few in the dialogue that's coming up. So you get to see the character more basically.
So you must be the secret ingredient. I'm your prom date, you ugly sack of shit. You missed. My name, by the way, is Dante.
Dante, son of Spada and Eva, the
Yeah, but you can call me Dante the Demon Killer. Has a nice ring to it, don't you think?
You want to kill me? You can't kill me. I'm 1,200 years old.
You don't look a day over 12,000.
Fuck you!
Fuck you!
Fuck you!
I don't personally remember, not that it's a massive problem, I don't remember there being a lot of swearing in the old Devil May Cry game, so that's something that's sort of new. So I really can't remember. There may have been actually, but yeah. I don't believe it is in this video. I thought it might. I wasn't entirely sure. It's the first time I played it. I hit his hand, and Dante went to that weird thing. He said, "Oh, nice nails. Mind if I cut them?" And I thought that was quite a funny line. So witty one-liners are there, but well, I don't really know from what I've heard if they're going to be as strong as some of the older ones. But I like that. Just I thought I'd show this bit as well, just because you can get a perspective of his character really a little bit more. This boss fight for the demo, I found quite hard, if I'm honest. I will say. I think though it didn't help that I got a bit carried away with the melee attacks, as I said. But I did find him to be quite hard. But I think I made quite a few more mistakes than I would have liked to. So I was kind of a little bit annoyed at that, but you know, this just really is just a video, so you, those who haven't had a chance to download it or well, for whatever reason really, are unable to play the demo. It's just to really show it off. As you know, I've been a big fan of the series for quite a long time, and I really just wanted to do a video on it, really. So. Oh, I was wondering why I was like falling there, and it just. I remember I didn't hit the angel thing. I can't remember what it's called now. I was only just sort of here trying to go back to platforms because I thought he was going to do that sick attack, but luckily, well, I don't think he's actually going to. I love how he just said "you coward," and technically, you know, I think it's quite gutsy to fight that kind of thing. The size of him. The gold orbs return. Obviously you've seen some of the red ones. I believe the green ones and all that will still be there. I think they were vital stars actually they were called. But I haven't seen any of those.
Suck on this. Shit! I can't reach it.
This is where the moving platform thing comes into play again, because you need to pull that, whatever that thing is, off him. I got a little bit carried away shooting there and didn't realise that I had to move. Because I only had a quick look at this when I first played the demo last night, and I kind of wanted to play more of it, but I just didn't get around to it, so I wasn't too sure on what to do. But I think that's actually the highest combat score I've got so far, isn't it? That attack is very annoying because it just, even when, you know, it's still on the floor, it's still doing you a lot of damage, so it's kind of a little bit annoying, that attack. Even start to see here, I'm getting a little bit carried away now. It's actually quite weird now, the soundtrack, it sounds kind of dubsteppy, I think it is. With the older Devil May Cry, it was always known for a sort of heavy metal music. So that's another change. Is it a bad change? I personally, the music isn't bothering me. It's, you know, I'm not somebody really who's going to criticise on the music, but you know, it's, you know, if you don't really like that kind of thing, then, you know, it's just, I'm just trying to point that the music's changed really. It's not a big problem for me, but it may be for others. I mean, a lot of games are sort of doing dubstep now. I mean, well, two recent sort of, I mean, the new Resident Evil game, Operation Raccoon City. Well, I say new actually. It was come out earlier this year. I've got Resident Evil 6 come out. That had a dubstep at the menu, so I think it's just to show that the sort of times have changed. Maybe when I was sort of getting into Devil May Cry, heavy metal was quite popular then. I mean, I wouldn't say some of them heavy metal's alright. I wouldn't say I'm a massive fan of it, but some of it's alright. I never had any problems with it on the original games with that sort of music, so But I think there are elements of heavy metal. In the first mission, yeah, I think it's just this show of the times have changed really, but dubstep's quite popular now. Personally, I really don't like dubstep, I'll be quite honest, but you know, personally on here doesn't really bother me all that much. It's really more about the gameplay for me than the music. But I mean, the thing is, music can add to a game. You know, it does make it more enjoyable. That's why a lot of people like custom soundtracks on games. I mean, I personally do as well sometimes. And I died again. I don't know whether they actually were going to give you unlimited gold orbs. It just seemed that way. I just got so carried away because I knew he was towards the end of his life here, and I was really getting carried away. And that should do it. I wasn't 100% sure you had to pull that thing out. I wasn't 100% sure, as I said, so I started trying to attack just in case, but yeah, it was to pull it out. See you later, gorgeous.
You're dumb.
And that's going to conclude it, I believe. Oh, he's back, I bet. He'll probably come back and to be continued. I thought as much. This really just gives you, you know, a little more in look at the game, really.
We have a new weapon, and he's coming for you.
And that's the end, so thank you very much for watching.